recording again here. I won't repeat everything that I just said. I was just, saying who I am and what we're going to be doing today. But, for those that don't know about Pear Deck, Pear Deck is a student engagement tool as well as a formative assessment tool. So if you're somebody that uses, let's say, Google Presentations, Google Slides, something like that, this is a way where you can give every single student a voice in the classroom. So when you use Pear Deck, you share out this Pear Deck with your students. Your students all have it right there on their device. And when you ask questions on there, every student has the opportunity to actually answer right there on the slide, as opposed to the old way we used to do it, presented up on the, the whiteboard, and then students have to watch up at the whiteboard, and hopefully they're staying engaged. Pear Deck's going to put it right there on the screen in front of them, which is really cool. If you think about all those students that maybe don't raise their hands in your class. So you ask a question and you get the same 3 or 4 students that raise their hands. They're always the ones answering. This is going to give the opportunity for every student to respond to. So you're increasing the engagement with them. You're increasing your understanding of what they know and what they don't know. And again, you're giving every student a voice in your classroom, which is a really cool feature of Pear Deck. So again, we're going to start here by me kind of presenting as a teacher and then you all in there as students. So I'm going to have a few different tabs open up here at the top, and I'm going to be clicking between them just to show you the different views. But the first place I want you to go is I want you to go to joinpd.com. You can also just go to Google, and inside Google, you can just search, joinpd.com. And when you get there, it's going to ask you to put in this code. Now, I'm trying to get my chat up, so give me just a second. There we go. It was kind of hidden in the background. I'm going to go ahead and share this link also with everybody. It's just a quicker way to get you in there. So we already have a couple people connected, which is great. Just give it a couple more minutes, another minute here to let everybody join. So again, I'm giving you the link to the student version, and I'm going to go through it through the actual teacher version. So perfect. It looks like everybody's joined. We have 5 students connected. There's 4 participants in here, but I have the student version up as well, just in case we needed it. But it looks like everybody was able to get connected there. So I don't necessarily need to show the student version. Now, what's really cool about this is if your students, are coming in at the beginning of the class period, you can start the class and the code will go away, but it's always up there at the top right. So students can join at any point during that session. It's not going to go away and make it difficult for you. It's right there. Just click on that again, show the link to all the students, and then back out. So really nice, easy way for you to continue on with your presentation and then bring students up to speed when needed. So you'll notice right away that on your screen, it's pretty basic. There's nothing much there for the student to do. And the reason why is the idea here is that I'm running a teacher-paced Pear Deck. So what that means is I control the pace as the teacher. I have the arrows down here to move from one slide to the next. I could, switch slides here as well. Whatever I need to do, I can switch the slides, but on your end, you can't do anything. So you're stuck on the slide I'm at. It helps increase the students' engagement with that slide instead of clicking all these random buttons to move through and not really pay attention to the material. However, at any point, let's say the class period's ending and you want students to be able to finish this maybe at home, you do have this 3-dot menu down here that does actually allow you to turn on student paced. So if there's ever a time that you're just needing to get this out to the students and let them do it on their own, you could quickly switch it to student paced mode and then turn it back to teacher paced mode at any point, which is a really nice little feature there. Now, while I'm over there in the three dots, there are a few different things that show up here. We're going to be looking at the presenter mode, which essentially is the mode that presents it up on the screen for the students. You're going to use the presenter mode to show student results right there up on the screen and be able to talk about those results with your students. The other one you have here is called the teacher dashboard. Now it just says dashboard, but it's called the teacher dashboard. And the teacher dashboard is something that you might have up on your phone, on an iPad, or up on a second screen where you can do a little bit more with the student work. You can star answers to kind of highlight them when you're presenting up on the board. You can provide feedback, and you can even hide answers if you found that a student maybe put in an inappropriate answer. So highly suggest that dashboard view as well if you do have the ability to have multiple screens open. Now, the last thing here that I want to mention is the new prompt button. And the new prompt button is a way for you, while you're giving a presentation, to ask the students to do something. So if you notice the students may be starting to get off task, they look a little confused as you're going through the lesson, you can always just add in a quick new prompt, and we have several templates already here available for you. Now you'll see these texts down here. These are the different slide types that you'll have, the different question types. We'll be going over each one of those and give you the opportunity to interact with those. But just a cool way to kind of go through here and you know, maybe I put this question up there and I ask a true or false question verbally and allow the students to respond. So a lot of different cool templates here ready to go for you just to ask a question on the fly. Now, I do want to encourage you to ask questions as well as we go through here. Now, I might not have all of the answers, but I will certainly do my best to answer them either live or, you know, after the fact. So please feel free to ask questions as we go through. All right, so that was the new prompt button. Now let's go ahead and jump into the presentation here. So today, again, we're going to go over what Pear Deck is. We've kind of already gone over that. We're going to explore the student side, which is what you are currently doing. I'm going to show you how to find and install the add-on inside your Google Slides. And then we're going to practice what we learned. So give you the opportunity to actually go in and interact with Pear Deck yourself. So what should have just showed up on your side is a website slide. So the website slide is where you can embed different things, websites right there on their Pear Deck, giving the students the ability to click the play button and watch the video or interact with the website themselves. So go ahead and click that play button on that video just so you can see what that looks like, what that feels like. And then we'll keep going through here in just a moment. Now this one's a video. So you can imagine kind of starting the lesson with an engaging video depending on the subject that you teach. I remember a music teacher actually used to use Pear Deck, and they would show, you know, a little musical clip here and kind of get the students engaged that way. Now, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing there. It is, I think, 30 minutes long. So the whole point of you coming to the session is so you get it live and not have to watch somebody's video. So we're not going to go through that whole video there. We'll go through this live. But know that, again, this is going to be shared with you. So if there's anything you missed or anything, you know, that you need to go back and review, you'll have access to this slide deck to go back and watch this video at your own pace. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue here. Now, before I click that, if you did play that video, I suggest you go ahead and pause it. So please make sure you pause that video. Otherwise, if I switch to the next slide, sometimes the audio keeps playing and you want to avoid that. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Oops, I double clicked. Sorry for that. All right, so again, Pear Deck's going to make our presentation interactive. Let's just keep going here. We've already mentioned that. So when you get into your Google Slides, later, you're going to see this toolbar over on the right side. Now, you do have to first enable the add-on of Pear Deck. And again, I'll show you how to do all that later. But once you get in there, you're going to see all of this information over on the right side. Now, this is how you both create and start your lessons. So you'll have the ability to use any of our 6 question types here: text entry, choices, numbers, websites, draws, and draggables. You'll be able to use any of those question types on any of your Google Slides. There's also the ability to add audio. So if you wanted to add in your own voice for a particular question, you can choose to do so. And you also have Immersive Reader, which allows you to provide that for your students if you do not want to record yourself. One of the other really cool things over here is you also have the template library. The template library, if you saw that new prompt option I selected earlier, it's going to include those things there. So, beginning of lesson templates, middle of lesson templates, end of lesson templates. And it's just going to give you the ability to quickly create presentations and questions for your students, so you don't have to do all the work yourself. All right, and we'll go ahead and continue. Now we're going to start with a drawing slide here. Now on my side, you'll see that we're just looking at a couple pictures here, but once I click the next arrow, you're now going to see these same options, these little colors down here at the bottom. That's because you're now on the actual drawing slide itself. So the first one we have here is going to be a name card. So putting your name in there. So please go ahead and use the tools that you see on your screen. Feel free to click around, be a student for a moment, and click around, try the different options there. There's no wrong answers here. And what I'm going to do is, oops, I apologize. I'm going to give us a minute to do this. So I'm going to set a minute timer there for you all, and you're going to see that pop up on your screen. So go ahead and give that a try. So it looks like I've started to get some responses. About 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 3 seconds left. And there we go. So we're at the end now. All right, so you'll notice now that there's no options for you. That's because I've done what's called a lock screen. Now that lock screen shows down here, down where that new prompt button was, and I have the ability to lock your screens to make sure that when we're going over these results together, that you all are staying engaged with what I'm talking about and what the class is talking about. Now, when I'm going to just click that just to unlock your screens again. There we go. But I don't know if you noticed, but when you click down on lock screens here, it gives you times in which you can lock the screen. So that way you don't always have to, bring up a stopwatch on your second screen and click it when it's done. Just choose between the three options here. So I gave you all, I think 30 seconds to do that. And then you can click on that and it'll lock automatically after that time. So we have 5 responses. Let's go ahead and show responses and see what we have. So we have Brett. Great job there. So Brett chose both options, text and drawing. We have Judy. Welcome. Jackie with the smiley face. Love that. Little star. Awesome. Vanita. And a little heart. Thank you for that. That's just me. I have my student version up on the second screen. I didn't do anything cool like you all. So great job there. And it also, like I said, it gives you the chance to kind of go in there and play around with it. And the students get the same thing. They get to go in there and draw on that screen, type out whatever they're comfortable with, giving students the option to do what they want to do. So that is my show responses, and you would be showing this up on the projector. Now, obviously this one has you do a name tag and put your name on there, but you'll notice nowhere else does it actually show any student names. So all these responses actually will come in anonymously. So that way, when you share it up on the screen, you don't have to worry about somebody feeling, oh, if I don't spell something right, I'm going to be made fun of, or, something like that. Everything is going to be anonymized up here. You will not see it anonymized as the teacher, but your projector view would anonymize it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hide responses and move on to the next slide here. Now the next one's going to be text slide. So let's just go to that one and give you the option here. What do you want to know about Pear Deck? Now this one's kind of cool because when I click show responses, I actually see your responses coming in live. All the things, perfect. So you'll see I can actually bring in the student responses right away. So great questions coming in so far. Are there ready-made templates for various subjects? Yes, there is. We have what's called a content orchard that will have ready-made templates for many different subjects. It is still being, worked on as far as how much content's in there, but you actually have the ability to share your own templates with your, maybe your department, your subject, your grade level, whatever it is. You do have the ability to share your Pear Decks with each other. And videos and questions. So the questions inside the video is not something that Pear Deck would do, but you can add videos into Pear Deck and then have questions next to it, but not directly in the video, meaning it's not going to stop at 2 minutes in the video to ask the question. It wouldn't do something like that. So we are going over the question types right now, so we'll just take a look at that as we're going through here. All right, so next question here is a multiple choice slide. Now we all know how that works, but I'm going to go ahead and just put it up here and let's see what we have. So again, I'm showing responses so we can see the responses as they come in. So I've seen it being used, but never tried myself. Couple of those so far. so only 2 responses so far. 3. Okay, starting to get some responses. So 3 have all seen Pear Deck being used, but never tried it so far. I'm new, I've never seen it. Awesome, welcome. All right, so we will just keep on going here. So looks like we got mostly people that have never used it. Really cool, really cool. Now the draggable. Now I'm going to go ahead and just apologize in advance because this question is kind of tricky. So, don't worry about being wrong here. Remember, it is anonymized. Just drag and drop. That's all we're asking you to do here. So don't worry about it. I forgot that this was a set up as a webinar, not as a regular um, Zoom. I was going to see if there's any science teachers that could come in here and explain this for us. But I think what I figured out is the bottom half down here is the winter version. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I don't remember ever seeing this question in science, but I think it's the bottom one based off of a quick Google search, because the sun's kind of hitting up here and warming up this section while down here is kind of getting less sun. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll just say it is. All right, great job. All right, so now we're going to pause here for a social emotional learning check-in. So this is a really cool piece of Pear Deck, is that Pear Deck is very focused on your students' social emotional learning. It's a very big piece in education that we oftentimes either forget or just, we know we don't have time. The everyday classroom is already limited on time as is. Students, are kind of behind in their learning because of, events in 2020 and 2021. And so we kind of forget these things. But remember, these understanding our students' emotions is a very critical piece to making sure that students get the best learning, but also feel safe and secure in your classroom and feel like they can speak out, with things with you and their classmates. So we do have many templates on that. Now let's go ahead and give you the opportunity here. And so here's just one question, just a question type that you're actually able to give to your students and just kind of understand where they're at in this lesson. I love this question specifically because if you're like anybody else, everybody who is very stressed out and has something else on their mind, they can't give their 100% focus to the task at hand, and that will affect their performance, right? So asking a question like this for the students will help understand if that student, I forgot to click the show responses, will help you understand if that student is in a safe space and feels like they can learn today and feels like they can participate at their best today. So, about a 3 and a 2, not bad there. All right, and we'll go ahead and just continue along here. All right, and now a text entry. So how you will or how you currently use Pear Deck in your classroom. Now, this one might be slightly tricky just because you haven't gotten into the teacher side yet. So, you still need to kind of figure out that piece of how you go into Pear Deck, how you use it with Office, with Google Slides. So this one might be a little tricky here to answer, but just give it your best, just based off of the question types that you've seen. We'll also go into the orchard here in a minute so you can kind of see what's pre-made. And then we're also going to give you time to build things on your own. Oh, teach the staff. Awesome. PDs for Pear Deck. Awesome. That is what is so cool about Pear Deck is it's not only for, showing something in front of the students, it can also be used for professional development. And that's a really powerful piece because I was working with a district, a very large district, and they were telling me about how they were, and they had, I think, like 500 people in their presentation, 500 teachers. And the way they were asking their questions, they would use Google Slides, they would show a question up on the screen, and then the 500 teachers had to go into the chat and all respond in the chat. And you can imagine 500 teachers sending in chat messages in Zoom all at the same time. That would be overwhelming for anybody. So having something like Pear Deck in your professional developments where you're able to show a few things, ask a follow-up question, show a few things, ask a follow-up question, and get that immediate feedback from the teachers on, am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Am I not showing you the things you're interested in? How are you feeling today? There's so many different things that you can do with Pear Deck. Just a really neat platform for both professional developments and in the classroom. Awesome. And I love this part here, engaging resources, which is such a huge part of Pear Deck is the engagement piece. And one of the things we actually do when we provide data to your district admin is we show moments of engagement, because that's what Pear Deck's all about, engaging your students with the lessons so you can get 100% engagement all the time with your students instead of, again, presenting up on the board, 3 students raise their hand and the rest are kind of off task. This puts it right there in front of those students. All right. Now, we're actually going to go ahead and just skip this question. While I think this is a good question, it does kind of follow with the previous question there, and as well as we need to actually see what Pear Deck looks like. And I'm running just a little bit behind, so I want to make sure we get through everything. All right. And last, I think this is the last question here. Are there any additional questions you may have? So Content Orchard, do we have templates already ready for you? Yes, we do. We'll go over that. Can you embed videos? So we showed on the very first slide that you can, but you can also embed videos in the Google Slides itself and then ask questions there. Are there any other additional questions? Oh, absolutely. So I'll be in this presentation, again, this will be shared out as a student pace, giving you the ability to go through it at your own pace and kind of play around with those questions again. There will be how-to links. We have a great how-to. We also have what's called the Pear Deck Institute, full of training resources in there for you. So you'll definitely be set up pretty well at the end of this session. Youngest age group appropriate for using Pear Deck. Really, we even have some templates already made for your K2 students. So we do even encourage this down to your kindergarten level. Obviously you just want to make sure that, the questions themselves are easy enough for the students. But other than that, really K2, one of the things we are currently looking at and working on, though, is a way to make it easier for students in that K2 range to join sessions. So, this code really not that hard to do, but when you get down to the K through 2 students who are still learning to use devices, they might need a little bit more help. So we're working on that and trying to improve the efficiency of your K2 students getting on to Pear Deck to join the lesson. So that is in the works, but all the way down to kindergarten certainly will work within Pear Deck. All right, so now we're actually going to get into Pear Deck itself and look at kind of what is available on Pear Deck. So you'll see that it says students browse, and there is a link at the bottom, peardeck.com, for you to be able to click on. So please go ahead and click on that. And we're just going to make sure that we have an account already created. And just if we don't, we'll create one. But what we're going to do is it takes you to this site right here when you click that peardeck.com, and you have the teacher login button right here. So, some of you mentioned doing PD for your teachers. There isn't like an admin account or anything. So if you're an admin, it's still teacher login. So click teacher login and then sign in with Google here. Okay. And now I'm in my account. Just going to ignore that, just telling me that my session is already there. Now, I just wanted to take you to this particular screen, make sure that you have an account. If not, you create an account. But there's a couple little things here that I wanted to point out. And then we'll jump into installing Pear Deck on your Google Slides and then creating your own. So again, we're looking at the peardeck.com down here at the bottom. Mine is shows this presenting, so it's kind of hidden, but down here at the bottom in this gray bar, it says students browse, peardeck.com. You click on that, and then at the top right, it says teacher login. You click on that and sign in with Google. All right, so now I'm going to just keep sharing here on my screen. There are a couple different things, 3 things I wanted to point out. One is this little toolbar up here at the top, where you can find sessions that you've ran in the past to go in and look at responses, to share out sessions, to start sessions, to end sessions, things like that. So basically your session reports. You also have your content orchard. So remember I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. You do have what's called a content orchard full of different resources here. Classroom community and celebrations, young producers, keep going down, flipping classes, Newsella, PBS, a lot of cool things here. I'm just going to go back up to the top here. You'll find all those different ones up here at the top. If you're looking for, and I'll show you how to do this here once we get back to the Pear Deck, but if you're looking for actual like subject based things, you could find that on Pear Deck when you're creating your slides, and I'll show you how to do that. But just a lot of cool resources here for you. The second thing I wanted to show you is this, is your name up here, your email maybe. And when you click on that, you'll see my account. And I want to show you that because you have this settings tab. And in the settings tab, you have the ability to turn on immersive reader. Now it isn't beta. Beta always means there is a chance for it not to work properly, but it is there available for you. And you can also turn on require student logins. So then that way, every time the students log in, you actually have their information instead of seeing them as an animal name or something like that. So if you want them to actually log in, you can default that to on, so they have to log in every time. Now there is a Google Classroom part, but that has to come from your admin. I'm meeting with your admin on Wednesday to see if this has already been installed for you all. So if it is, great, we'll send out the information for it. If not yet, I'll talk with them and see if that's something we can do. But there is a Google Classroom integration, and we'll see if your district has that or not. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to show you here back on home is the flashcard factory. This is absolutely awesome for your elementary students. So if you're an elementary teacher, this is fantastic. It's exactly as you think, it's flashcards, but it gives your students the ability to type in definitions and to draw out what that word or phrase means to them. So, you know, if the word's bird, they have to draw a bird. So it helps them show their understanding of that word in more ways than just, you know, word definition. They actually have to draw it. They get to choose their favorite flashcards that their class made and then, you know, print those out. It's really cool stuff. Highly suggest that you play around with that if you're an elementary teacher. All right, so that is the stuff here from peardeck.com. Now you don't really need to go here all that often, unless you want to like go back and look at a prior session or something. Otherwise, you can always just go to Google Slides. So what we'll do is let's go back to your student paced version. Sorry, your teacher paced version of the lesson. I think I'm on the right one. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to our Pear Deck, the one that you were doing live with me. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next slide. So then that way, you know, oops. Uh-oh. It's kind of acting a little wonky there. Okay, there we go. It switched. I'm not sure what was going on there. Okay, so now what I'm showing you, if you're back on the Pear Deck, you should be seeing this. Now you have another slide. Students browse peardeck.com/Google Slides. Go ahead and click on that link now. And it's just going to take you to Google Slides. And then let's go ahead and get into Google Slides. Now, when you get into Google Slides, if you don't have any Google presentations available right now, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. Go ahead and just click the blank to create a blank Google Slides. The main part here that we want to look at is we just want to look at how to actually add Pear Deck. So just go to just regular Google Slides. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's an actual lesson or not. Just create a new slide if you have to. And then once you do that, once you're here, go to extensions. And then you should see Pear Deck. You should see Pear Deck on there. Let me know if you're not seeing that in the chat. but Pear Deck should be showing up under extensions and add-ons. I had to go to you might need to go to add-ons, manage add-ons. You might need to go there. So just check extensions and then add-ons. You're just looking for Pear Deck. Let me know in the chat if you're not seeing that. So extensions, add-ons. Yours might even say add-ons. As you can see here, the image actually shows add-ons. I have to go to extensions, so slightly different. I do see a hand raised, so might mean that you're not seeing it. So I'm assuming that's what that means, is you're not seeing it. Chat is just, oh, is it? All right, I just enabled chat. I'm not sure why that was disabled. I apologize for that. All right, Brett, you want to give that a try now? Okay, we're good. Awesome. All right, thank you so much for letting me know. All right, so once you enable that, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Pear Deck here and open Pear Deck add-on. And now it's working. And there's that toolbar over on the right that I mentioned. So here's that toolbar. Now, here's your template library. So just a quick review of what's over here on the right. You have your template library. Remember, this is going to have beginning of lesson things, during lesson things, end of lesson things, but also these cool little things down here, learning development, critical thinking, different subject area templates. So let's go to science, for example. Here's that, here's that question. So little different templates for science. And that is through the template library. And then you can discover more activities and lessons through this content orchard here. So I'll click on that just to show you. So again, we are back with all of these cool little lessons. So it's really quite simple. Basically, whatever here is showing up on your slide. So what color is the sky? Right? That's what we always type in as a first default question. And so from there, we could do draw. So they have to draw it. We could do text. So then they can type it in. Or we can do choice if we want to give them multiple choice options. So I'll choose choice. There's not really going to be any choices here on the screen until I type them in here. So what color? It's blue, it's yellow, it's green, and update the slide. Boom, done. First slide is done. Questions there, answer choices there for the students. We're ready to go. First interactive slide done in 10 seconds. So really cool stuff there. So go ahead and just give that a try. Again, if you don't have a live, Google Slides that you can go through, just add a slide, type something in, and give it a try. Just see what it looks like. Give the add audio a try as well, where you can actually record your own audio. Try the different templates. A lot of different options there for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you give you about 5 minutes to do this here. So just build something for 5 minutes, and then we're just going to start a session just to show you what that looks like. It's not going to affect anything, but give you 5 minutes to build, and then we'll go into start lesson. Don't forget to use that chat or questions if you have any questions. All right, so under a minute now. Just want to make sure you have time to click that start lesson so you know exactly what to do once you're done creating. All right, so we're at 55 now. So we'll go ahead and just start our first lesson just to see what that looks like. So start lesson right up there at the top right of your slides. We'll click start lesson. You could choose to do it between student paced or instructor paced. It doesn't matter for this one, so you could choose either one. But if you want to do the instructor pace, just so you can see, what it's going to look like when you're controlling it, you can choose that. And you'll see it launches you right into that Pear deck with the code showing right up for you how many students have joined, what the link is. If you want to send a link to the students, you can do that. So it's just showing you right away what you should be doing, what you could be doing rather, with once you launch that Pear Deck. So pretty simple there. And then again, remember, all you have to do from that point is just you have your few options down here at the bottom and just navigate between the screens with your little arrows. So nothing much there going on from the teacher side. Nice and easy. It's all on the students now. So we have about 3 minutes left. Any last minute questions? All right. Well, it doesn't sound like there's any other questions. I'm going to stay on for another 3 minutes. But if you need to go, feel free. I do appreciate everybody's time here. Thank you for joining. And got a couple good questions in there as well. So thank you so much. Good luck, everybody. If you have any questions, again, I'll be on for another about 2.5 minutes. So feel free to ask any questions. Sorry, Brett, for not answering your question. I'm not sure why um, it didn't show up, but can you view your presentation before sending it out? So what I like to do is actually be the first one to use that student code and try it as a student. So that's typically what I do to try and go in there and kind of get a feel for what it looks like. If you're just wanting to see if all the slides are there or whatever, you can always just do the um, from Google Slides itself, just run that presentation through Google Slides, but it's not going to show you the interactivity of the slides themselves, like students dragging and dropping and things. So I would encourage you just to do the join PD and go in for yourself. Yep, exactly. So you would just take that code, go to join PD, sign in as a student, and do it that way. Awesome. Well, it's time to go here. So thank you so much for your question there. Again, apologize for being late on the response, but have a great day.